USCVA 98 will begin at the Quest airlock. EV1, noted by the red stripes, will egress first and perform some bag swaps, temporarily stowing them on the outside of station. EV1 will then receive crew lock bag for her first task, stow on her BRT, temporarily hold EV2, egresses, help her install on our BRT, and close up the airlock. EV1, you will then head on out to the Node 2 forward reflector worksite, pausing temporarily to drop her fair lead hook, and then heading out to the international docking adapter. Pause momentarily to pull a lever aft and take some photos, stow bag, and prep for reflector release. There are 3 Fairchild fasteners released by hand, carefully to not strip them. Stow that reflector in a wipe to protect the reflector back inside, and then install the new reflector. Again, 3 Fairchild fasteners. And then remove a tape cover, stow that all back in the bag, and then back inboard. Pausing momentarily to re-engage the safing, apply power to the international docking adapter, and back to the airlock. Stow a tool needed in a different task in a different bag. EV2 will then head outboard to S1, stow a large ORU bag with the high-def camera, and prep for arm setup. The Lee will meet EV2 at S1, install the foot restraint, retrieve large ORU bag, and ingress the SSRMS for a maneuver over to the S1 lower outboard external high-def camera. We'll temporarily stow a round scoop and a lens cover to protect our camera during the remove. EV2 will then release 3 cables, a WAP cable, and then a power and data cables. We'll temp those to the side, and then release the camera up the ratcheting bracket by flipping a cam lever. A temp stow on the outside of bag while retrieves the spare and installs the spare. And then power and data are applied, followed by the WAP cable. Retrieving the hardware from the new, looking at the cable routing, and then back to S1. Egress, and head back to the airlock to stow the large ORU bag, protecting the thermocock of the camera. Retrieve a crew lock bag needed for AMS activities. Head back to location at S1 and re-egress the SSRMS. EV1, you will then stop at the airlock, drop off bag and EGT while retrieving a Microorganisms caddy. Do a couple of different experiments looking for extremophiles on the outside of station, including handrails, gloved hand, the thermal cover, out for here on the lab at a CO2 vent. And the final swab back in the airlock, test the service and cooling umbilical, and then drop off everything, retrieve pistol grip tool and her new crew lock bag. From there, EV1 will then head all the way outboard past the Sarge, momentarily drop green fair lead hook, and then out to S4. Work on the integrated equipment assembly, releasing and reapplying a lower torque. This will allow for robotics, remove and replace later if ever needed. Stow tools, retrieve bag, and continue outboard. EV2. You will then take an amazing flyover the S1 truss over to the AMS worksite. Going to drive 46 bolts to pull the wake radiator in tight to AMS. EV1 works on DDCU jumper out at S4. Going to remove a couple caps from a dummy panel, reposition connectors, and apply a very large jumper. This will give us some redundancy in the impact of an electrical issue on orbit. Then reposition to the lower side because it is a long jumper. Move the cable to the dummy panel and do the other side of the jumper. From there, clean up worksite and reposition for next activity. Meanwhile, EV2 at AMS, break and remove 4 corner bolts. This allows for up to 4 AGS or AMS guide studs to be installed temporarily by hand and then followed with a torquing with the pistol grip tool. If needed, reposition and do the next two, again breaking torque and releasing them fully, and then fully installing 2 additional AGS, at first by hand and then by pistol grip tool. Then take another amazing ride back and around over the truss. Need egress position at S1. Egress, temp stow large ORU bag to clean up the foot restraint from the SSRMS. Stow it on the port CETA cart. Retrieve your lug bag and head outboard to join EV1. Meanwhile, EV1 has finished electrical jumper task. Headed to a second electrical task. This is a simpler DDCU activity. Install a short jumper. Meanwhile, EV2 will head outboard for a fluid jumper. Pause at S5, S6. Pull back a jumper which is filled with nitrogen and install for a future radiator fill of ammonia. After completing her electrical task, EV1, you will then pause one more time to do one more jumper. Again, this is a fluid jumper filled with nitrogen. You're gonna cross it over from S5 over to S4, and this sets up for a future EVA for radiator fill. Both crew will meet back at the airlock for a successful conclusion of EVA 98.
Subscribe for more space.